What's your name?
Miriam Purman.
When were you born?
Kלמנוביץ.
That's your maiden name, right? Look at the camera.
Yeah.
That Kלמנוביץ is your maiden name, right?
Right.
What year were you born in?
26.
1926. August 16th, 1926?
August 16, 26.
Where were you born?
In Lebet.
What country?
Israel.
No, you weren't born in Israel.
Palestine.
You were born in Palestine. So, tell me about your early years that you can remember growing up in Palestine.
We were not rich people. We was, I can say, poor. My father was, he had a wagon and a horse, and he take merchandise from release from big stores like my old place was, and he went to bring to Macolet.
Market?
To
the
no,
market?
To the to the stores.
Oh, he delivered it to the stores?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That
So-
he worked with it, and then he was sick, and he stopped with the wagon and horse, and he had only a wagon by hand, and he went to deliver.
Oh, so he delivered things by hand, not no longer with a horse.
Yeah, because he was sick and he cannot be in a horse and wagon.
Why couldn't he have a horse and wagon? You said he was...
He was sick. Sick.
Oh, he was... Well, the horse made him sick?
No, it was too much for
Oh, okay. But he was able to do it by hand.
Right.
Okay. So tell me about your early years growing up in Palestine.
Yeah, I went to school not far from house. In the beginning, my mother brought me, and then I went by myself. And
Were there Arab children who... Were there Arab children who went to school with you?
No.
Hold
no.
on a sec. Let me get something. Let me pause. Ask you was, did you go to school with Arab children?
No.
Only Jewish?
Jewish children.
Now, what city did you live in?
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Now, you had a very large family in Palestine on your mother's side. Alaima, your mother.
My mother and my father are also bigger.
I thought most of your family was from your mother's side because your father's side of the family came from Russia.
Yeah. He came from Russia, but he was a little boy, less than a year.
Oh, so he was less than a year old when they came. Did they come with a very large family?
Yeah. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I said 7, 8 children.
Wow, like Puerto Ricans. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
right.
Ooh, that's good. They were religious?
Yeah.
And your your mother's family was religious?
Yeah.
With payachs and the whole thing? Wow, so no bacon with your hamburger, huh?
No.
No bacon with your
No.
hamburger. Okay, so you went to school.
It was not far from house. And in the beginning, my mother brought me. And then later, I went by myself. And then they moved me to another school near the house,
Closer to your house.
closest to my
Okay.
house, you're right. And I grew up, we was 3 children. We live in one room.
That would be you, Batya, the Chesda. Moshe wasn't born yet.
No,
Okay.
Moshe born when we were in the Shalom.
Okay.
And life was very tough. My uncle, he was the boss on us.
Now,
With the
your
money.
your uncle was your mother's brother.
Right.
What was his name?
Yeah, Shaul.
Yair Shaul.
No, Shaul.
Oh, Shaul. His name was Shaul.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the boss. He paid my father money because
So he was a wealthy man.
he was a millionaire.
He was a millionaire. How did he earn his money? What did he do to make his money?
He was with pace. He learned in the cheder. And then one day he was walking in a little small with a religious man.
A little small store.
Yeah. And he was smart. And he grew up.
And he built a business.
He built a business for the old man. And then he gave him the business. And he was very smart. One day he came to his mother and he cut the payas.
Oh, was she upset that he cut the payas off?
Of course.
Did he sell the payas? I mean, he
No,
sounds like a businessman.
no,
I was just wondering.
No.
Okay.
And we grew up. He lived in a street, Rehov Gesher, they called it.
Gesher is bridge.
A bridge.
So it's Bridge Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a big store.
He had a big store.
Deep, yeah. And
Like Macy's?
Oh, no.
I'm joking.
It was big.
It was big. It was big by Palestine standards.
Right.
Now, through all that time, there were issues with the British. There were issues with the Arabs.
Yeah.
How was life under those conditions? And as a little girl growing up,
We don't feel.
as children.
We don't. Beside when where we was living is like now. It's not near the granites.
I understand. So Tel Aviv. So you lived all your life in Tel Aviv
Right.
when you lived in Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So when you moved to the school closer, that was like a middle school. How old were you? Do you remember?
I think then
10. And what did you learn? You just learned Hebrew and math.
math, and geography.
Now what about religious? Religious
Yeah.
school, or that was at home?
This is regular,
Okay.
not religious.
Did you have religious school, or you
No.
know your mother?
What we saw home
Okay.
and what my mother teaches.
Okay.
And
So it was just like a normal child. It was a normal,
yeah.
nothing too extreme, nothing too frightening. It
No.
was a struggle,
Right.
right?
It was a very big struggle. And my mother cannot do anything. Her brother didn't let her.
Because she was religious.
No,
Because
she is the boss.
he was the boss.
Yeah.
Oh, so what he said went.
Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters did your mother have that he was boss over?
He have 1, 2, he have 3 brothers.
So your mother had 3 brothers.
No, my mother don't have 3. She have 3 brothers.
Right.
But one brother, children die by my grandmother. She have maybe 13 children.
13.
Yeah, she can have.
How many survived?
Die only 4.
Only 4.
Then-
It's like the fish in my fish tank. They have babies, and just a handful survive.
Then the uncle, from the mother's side or from my father, from my grandfather,
Right.
I don't
Her father.
I don't remember.
Right.
Who went to America. He took the little boy, one of them, to America. He said that maybe over there he will not die. And really, he grew up.
Now this little boy was your mother's brother?
Yeah,
Okay. And an uncle took him. Good.
I don't,
Yeah, uncle. You just don't remember whose side of the family?
I don't know.
Okay.
Not that, I don't remember
Right.
this uncle.
Right.
Mine.
So an uncle took your mother's little brother to America,
Yeah, and thank God he didn't die.
and he didn't die.
No, he's the elder
Okay.
from the older. And then the 3 of them, my mother,
And the three brothers, and the two brothers.
Two brothers.
Now, was Shaul the oldest? Okay, so he was the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Was he a nice guy, a mean guy?
He was nice and mean.
Oh, well, yeah, you have to be when you own a business. Now, what about the other brother? What was he? Nice, not nice?
Yaakov.
That's his name, Yaakov?
Yeah.
Okay.
The brother of my mother.
Yeah.
He was a religious schmuck.
Oh, he's a religious schmuck.
Yeah.
So he studied all the time.
No, he studied, he worked also by his brother.
By his brother.
Yeah.
You're to earn a living.
My father worked by his brother and... Yeah.
Now, how did your parents meet?
In
Matchmaker?
Russia.
No. Your mother and your father. Saba and Saba. Your parents.
I don't know.
Matchmaker, maybe?
I don't know.
Matchmaker and matchmaker?
They never talk about this.
Oh, okay.
I know my father's family was in Herzliya, in another place, not Tel Aviv.
Right.
They have a farm. When they came from Russia, they didn't have houses, nothing. You put 4 sticks,
Into the ground?
yeah, and you put a sheet, and it was mine.
You mean sheet? Yes, because shit is something you do after a large meal, usually after a Jewish holiday.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they did. They came from Russia, stuck 4 sticks into the ground,
And this was there.
and as you so nicely put, they put a shit right over. Right?
No, they told me. And
No, I understand.
Later I saw.
Okay, so that covers that. So now you're growing up. You're, let's say 13. Anything happens interesting, or it's just like a normal life?
Normal life.
Okay. You are religious? You are,
I like the religious.
but were you religious, or you were, you did it because of your parents?
I because my parents.
Okay,
But
so,
when I grew up,
so you like to have a hamburger, a cheeseburger with bacon and?
No.
No? Oh,
No.
I'm just wondering.
I like the Shabbat. And I like everything because
Okay.
I got to grow up like this.
Now, Abba, your husband, how and when did you meet him?
I...
It wasn't J-Date, was it?
Mother?
J-Date. It's an online service when Jewish people
Oh,
want to meet. There was no computer back then.
I met him in a wedding.
In a wedding.
Yeah.
Whose wedding?
Oh. It was 3 girls and the name was Kלמנוביץ. And they said they are from our family, they came from Russia. Then my parents took them like family. And they make one on Shabbat and invite them. And your father was with them. They was
Friends, dating?
No, relationship.
Just friends?
Not friends, like family.
Oh,
They were-
not like friends with benefits?
No,
Okay, I'm just wondering. So he knew them from where? From Palestine or from Europe?
I don't.
Okay. So you invite these 3 young ladies whose
Yeah.
last name is
And then-
Kלמנוביץ,
and then
and he
they
comes also.
They bought him too.
Okay.
I like him very much.
Now was this a wedding, or this was just a Shabbat meal?
No, this is Shabbat day.
Okay, so that's when you met, and you met him at your house?
Yeah,
Okay.
I came from the beach.
It's a good thing you said beach, because the other one is a kelev, it's a dog, it's a female. Oh, go ahead.
I met him. He came from the beach and I didn't know he is coming. And I saw a very nice man.
He's a good-looking man,
Yeah. And he saw me.
and you were a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when you met him?
19.
You were 19 and he was 29. Because when you got married, you were 20, he was 30.
I tell you, he changed his age.
You don't have to whisper. God love him, he's in heaven.
Yeah.
Okay, so how old was he when you met him?
24.
He was 24, so he was younger. We'll get to Abba because I want to hear what you know about him in his life. So you meet this young man.
And I like it.
Now, did he have a sense of humor? Was he
Oh,
funny?
yeah. It was nice to be with him.
What did he do for a livelihood, and how long was he in Palestine when you met him?
He came in.
Well, let's backtrack a second. You met him in 1946 because you got married in 1947 and had your first.
Yeah, but he came before.
So you met him in 1946, and he came in 45 or 46?
I think 43.
43. Wow.
Yeah.
How did he? Well, we'll get to him. So he came in 43. You met him in 1946, and tell me what happened from your side,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about him.
He wanted to go with me, and I have a date with somebody else.
How quickly did you get rid of the other day?
And then he said, look, go with him and see, and then you will see me. Okay, but I said, no, I don't want. I told the other one.
How did you dump him? What did you tell the other guy?
I told
I mean, you
them,
couldn't call him, you couldn't send him an email, you couldn't
I
text him.
told them I don't want to see him.
But you had to go over, or he came over. You had to.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was no telephone.
Yeah, we talk.
Right. Okay.
I
What was
did-
his name?
So to remember.
Okay, that's good. No impact. So, what was your first date with Abba like? Where did you go?
To a movie.
What movie?
Eden, near the.
Well, that's the movie theater, but do you
Yeah.
remember what movie you saw?
A Polish movie.
A Polish movie.
And
You don't understand Polish.
No, but we have
In Hebrew writing?
what?
Oh, okay. Do you remember what the movie was about? No.
Crazy movie, but he enjoyed it.
He enjoyed it.
I enjoyed too. We laughed like crazy.
Well, a Polish movie has to be funny, just the language alone. Do you remember where you went to eat? What you had to eat?
Yeah, we went to eat in a Romania restaurant.
You had skirt steak?
Yeah,
There you go. That's why I love skirt steak.
yeah,
Interesting. So that was your first date, and you knew.
yeah.
You knew right away. How long were you guys dating?
Every year.
For half a year.
Yeah.
So what
But
month
you
did you
know-
meet him? What month? Well, what month did you marry?
Rosh Hashanah,
September.
I think.
September. So 6 months prior to that you met him. I can't do the math.
But at least he lived in his work.
Oh, so he
He have his own
a little shop.
Yeah. And he
Lived there.
Then we folded bed, and in summer you can sleep outside.
Okay.
Then I told them you could come and sleep by us because it's very hot.
Where he was.
Yeah.
Where was his?
רחוב הרצל 81.
Okay, that's Street Herzl. And what number?
81.
81. This was also Tel Aviv.
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
near Yafo.
Okay.
Tel Aviv, but near.
Did he ask your parents for permission to get married?
No, he lived over there, and this was decided between, the time.
Oh, so you and him decided there was.
He lived with us.
Oh, so he lived with you, just like I lived with Gail.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
that's
he
cool.
slept on the
He
terrace.
slept outside. Sure,
Yeah,
like
outside.
like with the dogs and the cats.
You
Sure.
don't have dog and not cat.
Well, you had to have meat from someplace.
Yeah.
Okay, so you married in September. Let's talk about Abba, if you can help me with this. So Abba comes to Palestine in 1943. Where did he flee? Where did he come from, and how did he get to Palestine?
He went with his brother of his brother-in-law.
So he went with the brother of his brother-in-law. In other words,
in Airgun,
the military.
no military. It's like Apoel, Maccabi.
Oh, it was political. Okay, it was a political movement. But let's backtrack for a second. He came to Palestine with the brother of his brother-in-law.
No, he came by himself.
Oh, he came by himself. Okay,
But the
19...
ship.
on the ship.
Yeah, with the ship. It's a group of children,
Right.
and men.
So he knew some people on the ship.
Right.
Wh-
Before the ship.
Okay, what part of Europe did he leave from?
He was at Romania, Chernobyl. This would belong also to Austria.
Right.
Then he was few years in Chernobyl, and he was in Russia. You know, when the Germans came.
Right, but was he avoiding the Germans or?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, wasn't he a silversmith for the Romanian prince?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start.
This I don't
Right,
know. I only saw the job what he
Right.
made.
Let's start with Abba. He was born January
Arba.
4th. Now I know to be 1917, but what year was he really born? Because now we know he was younger.
Yeah. 4 years. Not a lot.
1921.
4 years elder for me.
So he was 24 and you were 20, so it's 4 years.
Yeah.
So you were born in 1926, so he was born in 1922,
Yeah,
not
something like
1917. Just let's cover base on this. Why did he change his date to be older?
Because he didn't want to go to the army.
In
He
Palestine.
is Palestine.
Okay, fair enough. Now we understand. So January 4th is the day he was born, but it was 1922. Okay, I finally know. I'm 60 years old and I'm learning this.
Nobody knows.
It's okay. Now let's talk about the last name. I once saw a picture. I have Dodagina, his sister, Regina. I have her photo albums. I was scanning them, and on the back I saw the name Regina Dulman. Who's Regina Dulman, and how does that relate to me?
The father was Dulman.
His last name was Dulman.
Yeah. And he also, the Russia look after him.
To take him into the army.
Yeah. Then changed the name.
To Furman. He changed it.
No, the name is the mother.
Oh, he took his mother's maiden name. Okay, so let's backtrack for a second. His parents, his mother and father, what was their last name? Was it Dulman or Furman?
Dulman.
It was Dulman. So the Russian army was looking for a Joseph Dulman, but he
Yeah.
Joseph Dulman,
Yeah.
but he changed it to Furman.
Yeah, he came to the house and he asked the mother, "Is live here with Joseph Dulman?" She said, "No, I don't know a man like this." And she was married and she already
Right,
Regina.
right now, he only had a sister, which was Regina.
Yeah.
Do you know what year it was that he changed his name to Furman?
No.
So,
Right away.
so technically, legally, universally, my last name is Dulman.
Right.
D-U-L-M-A-N.
I don't know how to spell.
Okay, I can throw a Z or a J in it. Doesn't matter, we're not using that
Yeah.
name. So he was born January 4th, 1922. His real last name is Joseph Dulman, and I feel left out. No, okay. So he leaves Romania. Let's talk about did he talk much about his life in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Abba. He's born January 4th,
He
1922.
was very happy,
Tell me.
very happy boy. Everybody loved him. When they want to go to a picnic or to go someplace, they all came to wake him up. He should come. They fought, and he didn't want to go.
He liked to stay home.
He wanted to sleep.
Oh, well, yeah, sleep's a good thing.
Yeah. But
He
then,
was, as a young boy, where was he living? Chernovich?
yeah,
Okay, so that's part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire at the time.
yeah, he was.
Well, no, not really, because if he was born in 1922, no more Austro-Hungarian Empire, it's after World War II. So is it Hungary? Is it Austria?
It's Austria.
It's Austria. Okay, so he's an Austrian citizen growing up. His language is Austrian German.
German.
Okay. So tell me about his early years, going to school, what kind of child he was.
He was wild.
I remember he used to like to climb things.
Oh, one day his mother coming from the market and she see a lot of people stand and look up at the Abut Khashmal.
A telephone pole, electric
No,
pole, electric,
She
electric pole.
look up, oh, she see black in the eye and a sun on the air.
He climbed an electric pole line.
We like to climb, period.
No different than me hanging out the window of the third floor in Tel Aviv. Okay, so he was hyper. Was he a good student? Did he like to go to school?
He was a good student. He had a good head.
But he didn't like to go to school.
He didn't love so much school, but when he learned good.
All right. Do you know anything about his parents, his father or his mother? What were their names?
They came Yitzchak and Frida.
Okay, so my grandfather's name would have been Yitzchak Erwin, like your oldest son, and Frida.
It's Jamie. השם הראשון שלה זה פרידה ג'יימי.
Jamie's first name is Frida, or just the Hebrew name?
Frida is the Hebrew name.
Frida.
But no. Oh, I'll call them. Like they call the grandmother, I forgot now the name.
Now, just before I forget, and I want to your mother's name was Malka, which means queen in English. And Michael was your father's name, Michael. Okay, so tell me more about Abba.
If not the war, it can be rich to somebody.
Well, he was a hard worker. He worked hard.
Every work he had, he loved. He loved the work. He loved the work, and when he grew up, he read a lot. And if not the war, he can be a doctor or a lawyer or something.
Now, what work did he do when he worked? Silversmith. He was a silversmith.
Yeah.
It's called a silversmith.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the Romanian prince. Was it the Romanian prince or Hungarian prince that he did silver for, if I remember? Or was it count?
I don't remember. I think the Hungarian prince.
What?
Hungarian.
Hungarian prince?
I think, and
Okay.
also to the Romanian.
The Romanian. So what did he do for them? I remember
He
Father
made
Father telling me he made a cigarette case. I don't recall for who.
Cigarette, bonbonniere.
From silver.
Everything
What is
silver.
bonbonniere? How can I?
something סוכריות, candy.
Oh, a candy holder. Okay.
Flower.
A flower vase from silver.
Okay.
Okay. And
And then from the silver he start to go gold jewelry. And with this instead.
now was he self-taught? He taught himself.
Yeah.
So he didn't have any apprenticeship someplace. He wow, that's pretty good. Doing this silversmith work and gold work for a Hungarian or Romanian prince, did that kind of save him in the early part of the war?
Also.
Do you recall any stories of that?
Yeah, I know. He told me your father was with the Russia, in the war. He dictated them what to do. They want this, and he said, no, it will not be good. And they listened to him. It was really good.
Okay, so we can clarify. The Hungarian prince wanted something done a certain way?
No, in what was the Russia?
In Russia?
In the Russia, they have the leader from the place.
Now, what place is this?
Factory.
Oh, okay, it's
the Russia.
Okay, in Russia was a silversmith factory.
Yeah,
Okay.
gold.
And gold. Who was father working for? The Russian factory? Was he doing work for the Romanian Hungarian prince, or
The Russia.
he was okay? That's where he started.
No, he started before the Romania and Hungary.
Prince, and then he. So how did he get from doing work for the Hungarian Romanian prince to the Russian factory?
Romania took them. They fight the Russia and they win.
Okay. So and then they. Okay. So the Romanian Hungarians they fought the Russians and they conquered the land, and now there's a factory. So the prince
They
puts.
walk
Okay.
for
So the
them.
prince puts father into the factory to work.
They take within them is a goodies.
Oh, so they told the factory that you keep him.
Yeah.
He's got
yeah.
good hands, good
Yeah.
head. Okay, so what else you were talking? You said something he told them at the factory. You told them what to do,
Yeah, and they listen.
and they listened to him. How long was he in the factory in Russia? Do you recall what years it was?
No,
Because we got to remember it was 1940.
3.
Well, when Germany attacked Russia, it was like 1940.
I don't know.
So he was
Never.
probably 3 years there. Did he ever tell you how he left Russia and got onto the ship?
I told you, he went to good for live עבודה, like Mapai, like,
It's a Jewish workers organization?
yeah,
Okay, and they smuggled him out?
not smart, he bought the ticket.
And this is in Nazi-occupied Europe. They were able to do that. And let's try it again. What was the name of the organization? Do you recall?
השומר צעיר, לא,
Oh,
something like this.
Shomer is to guard and Sair is youth.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they bought him a ticket, and I'm trying to understand how the I guess he was he was working in the factory that protected him from the Nazis.
No, yeah, but this is the group is all between the Jewish,
It was underground.
not underground.
Well, the Nazis couldn't have known about it. You understand?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was between the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's called underground, and they smuggled him out.
They didn't smuggle. They let them go to the ship.
No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
They got him documents to be able to go
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
ship.
yeah.
Okay, it's the same. To help get him out of Europe.
Right.
It was this organization. Did it cost him anything? Did he have to? Obviously, he had to pay for.
I didn't ask him.
Now, when he left Europe, he left penniless.
No, he left, but he left money by his brother,
His brother-in-law's brothers.
not his brother-in-law, his sister brother-in-law,
His sister. Oh, Yosef.
not Joseph, Mendel.
Okay. His sister, Regina,
Was married to Joseph,
right?
and Joseph had brothers,
Okay, one of Yosef. Okay, so we can clarify this.
and he gave him the money. He had
Okay.
a lot of money,
So
and he told them, "I will give you back everything." He spent everything.
he spent everything. So
He came naked.
okay. So
He had in the dash
oh, in his cap he had hidden money. Okay.
$100.
So we can get this on the recorded. Yosef, my father, your husband, had a sister named Regina. Regina married a man named Joseph Yulman with a J.
Right.
He had brothers. One of the brothers was Mendel, and Mendel was the one that
Not Mendel, the other brother.
Oh.
I forgot his name.
Oh, so we don't remember the name of the brother who took the money and spent it. Okay, that's fine. So
he died in the war in Israel.
Oh, he did 1948.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what happens when you
And,
spend the old.
she was present, the son, and his.
We'll cover all that. So he is smuggled out because that's how you do it. He left his money by his brother-in-law's brother's house. He now lands in Palestine. What does he do when he lands? He knows nobody. He doesn't speak the language. He only speaks Yiddish. How many languages did he speak when he landed in?
14 languages.
14 languages.
And then he came to America,
And he
to
learned
Israel.
He learned Hebrew, and then he learned Spanish, so that's
Yeah.
16 languages. Okay. So what does he do when he lands in Palestine?
Right away he worked in the jewelry.
So he went straight to, he was that skilled, he was that good.
He made a singer in the opera, a ring. And everybody was crazy about it.
So it was good workmanship, and that started him off. So from 1943 until you meet him in, that would be January, February, in March. You met him in March of 1946.
Yeah.
So he was working in jewelry.
He had his own.
And he built, now,
He
how,
had his
own business.
Yeah.
How long did he have his own business?
Oh.
Remember, he came in 43, met
He
you.
walked by place, and then he was very sick. He went to a kibbutz, Machnaim, and he was very sick over there.
Why? What happened?
He had malaria.
Malaria.
Yeah. And he didn't went back to work. He stayed in the kibbutz, and he was the best worker over there too. The best.
How long was he in the kibbutz?
Not so long.
But then he moved back to Tel Aviv.
And a friend of him took him, and he gave him a job, jewelry, and that he will stand. And till I make it, we have jewelry, and then later we have copper thing.
Right. You did kind of giftware for people who come to Israel with the Israel markings.
Yeah.
Okay, so you meet him, you get married. You're now pregnant with Yitzhak, your oldest, who was born October 5th, 1947, before the state of Israel. Tell everybody the story about when you and Abba were at your parents' house, and it was past the curfew, and you wanted to go home. Yes, I knew I'd remind you. Okay,
No.
Look at the camera and tell.
No, I said to your father, I don't want to stay home, I want to go out. I'm tired to sit in the house. Oh, he said, but it's a curfew, you cannot go to the British. But to go, it doesn't want the curfew later. And we're going home to curfew. And I was running with everything.
You fell into a ditch? What, was that to avoid the British?
No. We run, we hide, and then later we go out and you have to carry him.
So you could go out as long as you hid from the British.
Yeah.
They were patrolling the roads.
Oh yeah, you can.
Now, what would happen to you if you got caught?
Take you into jail.
To jail? Was it very stressful to live during that time with the curfew? And I'm assuming the Arab riots, were occurring all the time. So things were stressful.
Yeah, very.
Was there?
You cannot go shopping, you can go no place.
But that's during the curfew. But during the day, was there any concern, of the Arabs attacking? Because they used to attack buses,
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, where I live, we didn't feel it. Everything was far from us.
So it was further east, Hebron.
To the
Right.
Gul,
To the border.
border.
To the border. Okay, so take me to War of Independence. Where were you? What were you doing? What was Abba doing? How did it happen?
We live in Rehov Erte. No, the job was in Rehov Erte. We live in Shchonat.
Shapiro?
Shapira.
Okay, the Shchonat is street?
No, Shchona is
Avenue?
no, a group.
Oh, an area. The area was called Shapiro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shchonat Shapira.
Okay.
You cannot go to work because above his shop it was the army.
So on top of his building, the army had a, and were they firing from there? Oh, okay. So I'm assuming people were firing back at them.
The Arab, in my house, I have in the wall few.
You got a few bullets in the house you were living in, Rehov Shapiro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I moved to my aunt Shaul, to his house.
Oh, Shaul's. This is your mother's older brother, the rich guy who was in charge. You went to his house, which was more safer because it was a bigger house, or it was in a safer area. It was in the middle. Okay. Okay. So you went there and you felt safe.
Yeah.
Now you and Abba.
And Yitzhak.
Okay. How old Yitzhak should have been about a year old.
No.
He was born October. The war was in May. So we're looking at November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So he's 7 months old.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's 7 months old. So where is Abba and all this?
Abba slept in the basement. I sleep up.
Oh, he slept in the basement of the house you were.
Well, Saba and Savta.
Okay.
And I slept with Aaron, with Yitzhak in the apartment.
Okay. Okay, so now the war is over. There's an independence, state of Israel. Tell me what it's like in the streets and how the.
Oh, your father was the first ran to dance in the street. Yeah.
It must have been. It must have been amazing.
Oh yeah, it was very happy.
Were you able to hear Ben Gurion's speech about the state of Israel?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, what did I do?
So everybody celebrated.
Everybody, every child.
And then the war starts, right? Once the war is over, is there more celebration or life goes? So they celebrate.
Oh yeah, we celebrate a lot. A lot of food.
So I am born in 1956, and from May of 1948, State of Israel, to 1956. Obviously, there was the war in 1956 that occurred. Right prior to the war, how was life?
It's okay.
Normal? Nothing.
No, we had stamps for food.
Okay.
Children get eggs, more chicken, butter, but your father ever buy things on the black
market.
We put under.
Now this was just because to ration the food because there wasn't a lot of it, so
there wasn't a lot, but
so they had to ration.
Every time when it happens something, you have black market.
Right. How long did that last until people were just no longer needing the stamp and they can go to a store and purchase something?
A long time.
A long time?
Because we didn't have
when I was born.
Oh no.
It was you have. So maybe 4 years, 5 years prior to maybe
5, 6.
Okay, so that would
very hard.
It would be 1950.
But I am the butcher, the chicken woman gave me chicken. Then I get butter more. You can
you
buy.
That's my fault. That's my fault. That's my fault. Sorry. Somebody's getting a headache. Sorry. I knocked it over. Okay, let me fix this. Is it still running? My bad. I'll be able to fix this. So it's running. So here we go. So we're back. We're back live here in Hollywood, Florida. Hooray for Hollywood! And where we last left, you said you were able to get chicken and meat and butter and eggs. How were you able to get this extra stuff?
I did because they love me.
Okay.
Then they gave me. They tell me today you will have this. I get eggs, more butter, chicken.
What about water? No issues or short with water? You know.
No.
Everything. Furniture, clothing.
No, it was.
Okay. Just the food. Just the food part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am born in 1956, and now the war starts.
Yeah.
What happens then?
You have to run about that to the.
Now the Egyptians were shelling, and I think so the Jordanian were shelling the state of Israel. So
The German also.
well, yeah, there were Germans. Yes.
They fly.
Yeah.
The milkman was bomb fell on his house.
On whose house?
The milkman.
Oh, the milkman. A bomb fell on his house. So the jets were flying over and bombing. So you hear a siren.
Oh, we went all the time down in the basement.
In the basement. So it must have been very, very frightening.
Oh,
You would hear the battle off in the distance.
yeah.
At night, could you see the flashes of?
No, we
Okay.
didn't see.
But you were able to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to the United States, and you and I, in April of 1967, a year before Abba and Yitzhak came to the United States.
Yeah.
Why did we move from Israel to the United States?
Gina and Yosef was here.
Gina and Yosef. Gina is Abba's a sister, and Yosef is the brother-in-law.
And they want to be together.
Also, the brother and sister wanted to be together because they had no family other than each other.
Yeah,
Okay.
then they take us.
Okay. So, but Abba and Yitzhak came first.
Yeah. We didn't want to go all together.
Okay. So he needed to establish and then to bring us.
And besides this, I have to wait 3 months because I was Israeli.
Well, wasn't father an Israeli? So he was Russian.
Yeah, but, oh,
He had an Austrian or Russian passport.
yeah.
Is there anything you want to tell future generations about you growing up in Palestine and then the birth of Israel? Camera is yours. Anything else you want to say about your life?
I said, I love Israel. I want to go back. But I have you, and I have your children, and I have Yitzhak grandchildren. Then you are known to me more than they are. Then I stay here. But
Was it hard for you?
Yeah.
Mm. That's the
Yeah.
one thing you want?
When I go to Israel, now I cannot go. But when I go the last time,
It was hard to leave?
yeah, I cry.
No. I know the feeling. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Anything from your early childhood that you can remember to tell us? Anything about,
I don't have something special. I know my mother I should learn to sew dresses. Then she found a teacher. He come home and my mother have a sewing machine. And then she called them and he should teach me. My rich uncle didn't let her do it. And then my mother said, why you don't let me do it? I want she should have something.
To fall back on.
Yeah.
To do.
He said, no, it costs money.
No.
You were very stingy.
Stingy sounds like it was really cheap. What about being left-handed? Was that a problem for you?
Yeah, in school the teacher all the time stand behind me, change his pen.
Or from the left to the right?
I change, I make it right. I hold like this tissue left, I took put back.
Was it frustrating for you?
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
What subjects in school did you like? What subjects in school didn't you like?
I tell you it all. I like to write. You have to write חיבורים, how you say.
Stories?
Like stories
Right.
from your word. I love
Right.
this. I love math.
Yeah,
I-
you taught father math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
History,
Interesting.
history I like. I like painting.
Were you able to draw when
Yeah.
you were young?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we teach us. We are measure with a pen. They put a vase on the table and we draw this.
If you were to change anything, and I don't mean with Abba or Yitzhak or me, if you were to change anything for Miriam Furman, if you were able to go back and have, I'll give you an example. If you were able to go back and force your uncle to let you do the sewing so you could do sewing, what would you go back and change so you could do and enjoy?
I can open me a sewing shop because I do.
Well, I remember you made my costumes for
לך וליצחק.
for me and Erwin.
And all
What
the pens.
I keep forgetting what holiday. I was going to say Halloween.
Purim.
Purim. I was going to say Halloween, but there's no Halloween in Israel. So that's the one thing.
I can fix things.
You did. You used to fix
Oh,
my
yeah.
clothes. Yes.
I
Absolutely.
fix pens. I fix
So that's
dinner,
that's the
dresses.
one that's the one thing you would do and go back and
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets?
Yeah,
What?
I didn't be stronger against your father. Think. Right? אני לא הייתי עצמאית לעצמי.
Okay. I'll try to translate that. You weren't more for yourself, but not in a
For
self.
the other.
Right.
For you,
Right,
for
right,
Arnie,
but
for
it's-
Yitzhak,
right, it's-
for Abba. It should be
It was everything.
quiet,
Right.
quiet.
Right. Yes. Wow. Okay.
And I said, I want to be a kapure.
Yes.
Like you said.
You wanted all the trouble and you and peace in the house.
Right.
Yes, I know.
And did help me.
Interesting. Wow, things you learn. Anything about Abba you can recall that you...
He was very stubborn.
Stubborn is an understatement. But I'm talking about in his early years in Europe. Is there anything you can remember that we missed that I didn't ask you on?
אני יודעת שרדפו אחריו כל הבחורות.
She said that she knew that all the girls he was a very good looking man.
He was beautiful.
And he had a great sense of humor and all that.
And he
So all the
smiled.
girls used to run after him. Can you assume for him, Vishvilo, for a moment? Do you think if I asked him, do you have any regrets? If he would have any regrets? I mean, nobody knew him as good as you. You know, that's the whole story.
If he ever, I don't know.
That's a good enough answer.
He have his mind made already.
Now, his parents.
Oh,
His parents.
oh,
Tell me about his father. Tell me about his mother as individuals, as people. Start with the father.
He didn't listen to them.
He didn't listen to, but that's Abba. Tell me about his father. What kind of a man was his father?
What he told me, a very nice man.
That's what I want you to tell me.
Quiet man.
Wasn't he a tailor?
Yeah.
Was he a good tailor?
Very good. He saw for the king also the clothes. Only they.
But he wasn't a good businessman.
No. Good worker, but not big.
Now, what about Frida?
Fire. She can be a lawyer.
She was that smart.
Oh. She was a lawyer. She helped people. They went to court and she went.
She represented them.
Yeah, and she didn't take money.
Now, wasn't there a seminary school across the street from where they lived? Like a church or something?
Yeah.
Tell me about the relationship between the church and my grandmother, Frida.
Oh, she was so good to them. The priest loved her.
Now, what was the relationship? What did they do?
Oh, one day he had a lot of students, and he did never to keep them.
To house them, to room them.
All right. Then Savta had a big house. Then he came to her, and he asked her if she wanted to take few students to live with her. She said, why not?
Now, was the church far or close to their house?
Close.
It was close.
Yeah.
Now,
and listen, she cooked, not she can let them sleep and wash for them. She cooked for them and she feed them. And
Now,
she didn't want to take money. And listen something very important.
this is the part I've been waiting for. Go ahead.
When was the German was
Cleaning up the area from Jews.
all the people.
All the Jews got together.
And they're going, and the priest stand with a SS thing.
In front of the SS.
He saw them, and they saw him. They didn't talk, but they talked with the eyes. Then he goes, said, you see these three people? Let them go on the right to live, left to die. Oh, he said, okay. When they came to him, he said to Frida, Regina, and Joseph to go on the right.
So Frida is my grandmother, Joseph is my father, and Regina is his sister. And the priest saved their lives.
Yeah.
I'm assuming my grandfather had died.
He died.
He died of a heart attack. I forgot, what was his name again?
Yitzhak.
Oh, Yitzhak, right, Yitzhak. So that was, now Frida, Abba brought her to Israel. Where was she living and how did he get her to Israel?
Poor woman.
What happened to her?
First, they all live with us in one room.
But this is in Israel. Take me, now in 1943, in March of 1943, in 1943, Abba comes to Palestine. He comes alone. Where's his mother? Where's my grandmother?
In Chernobyl.
Okay. Where, and who was she staying? How was she staying?
With Gina and Yosef.
Who?
Gina and Yosef.
How were they able to avoid the Nazis and not be taken to?
Oh, yeah, boy. He was a watchmaker. It's helped him a lot.
So they were protected by people that they were able to do things for.
Yeah.
So so Abba eventually made enough money to bring his mother, his brother-in-law, and his sister to Palestine.
No, they have money.
Well, they have money. How else did they survive? So how did, and I know Regina and Yosef and Frida, they came to Palestine. How did that happen?
They did Palestine, Israel.
So this is after 48. They were still in Europe after the war. Wow, interesting. So they all lived with you on Chav Shapiro,
Yeah.
okay, in that house. How long after did Yosef and Regina, my father's brother-in-law and sister, go to the United States? When did they?
First ego, God. Yes.
1960?
The family, yeah, also family.
Was it in Elizabeth, New Jersey?
No.
That wasn't her?
His friend.
That was a friend?
Yeah.
Okay, so what year, do you recall what year he went to the United States? Yosef, Regina's husband.
When he went,
In the 50s, like
56.
when I was born?
Uh-huh.
Or when I was born? Before I was born, right.
Oh no, this before.
They left before I was born.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about Abba that you can tell, you know, my children, their children, their children, and their children?
It was a strong man. His mind was fixed.
I remember,
When he
yes.
wrote something,
Yes, nothing would stop him.
Yeah.
Did he have, you know, when you go through stresses in life, you have nightmares or you have certain, did he have any issues with that? I mean, he went through Europe, then he traveled to Palestine. He didn't have nightmares or, okay, so none of that.
He's a strong man, very,
Okay.
very strong man.
Okay. Is there anything you can tell me about your parents? You can add, you know,
Kvach.
I'm sorry?
Kvach.
How do I translate that?
They like to do what other people want.
Oh, and
Like
okay,
the
so
uncle mine.
right, so they did what the uncle
other
or
one.
Shaul, whatever Shaul said. So I'm assuming when Shaul died, they had a party,
Yeah.
or they didn't know what to do with themselves. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they were miserable about that. They had to have been unhappy.
They was and they was not.
He financially took care of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's the place
When
you
he was
pay.
sick, he take care of us
Okay.
because he was a lot sick.
If in life things happen, good, bad, and indifference, would you say you had a good life?
No,
What kind of life did you have?
I have poor life.
In what way?
Also, I cannot do what I want because we didn't have money. I work, I gave everything wrong. If I want to,
This was to your parents.
yeah, because I want dresses, I want shoes. I have to ask them if I want. Every time they said yes, even they understand me. I didn't ask a lot, but I asked,
Right.
and they let me buy, they let me do it.
Did you make your own clothes in Israel?
No, I can fix clothes,
Right.
but not, I wish I can sew.
Now, is there anything else you think you can add about you, about Abba, about Palestine, about Israel, about the United States?
It was very hard in Palestine. We live in the street with the cemetery,
Where was this?
Trumpeldor.
Oh, no.
When I was a child,
When you were a child, you lived by a cemetery? Near a cemetery.
and it was a house of my uncle, the rich uncle.
Oh, so he owned the house.
He had few houses,
He had a few houses.
and we lived there. And
Were you uncomfortable about the cemetery?
Oh,
being-
when we saw
Hearse, or carrying a dead, burying somebody?
yeah.
Must have been.
Yeah,
How old were you? You recall how old you were?
I was
6, 7, 8, that
yeah,
kind of age?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add?
I didn't have easy life. I have to help my mother to clean.
What was your personal happiest moment? You're not doing for somebody, not whatever it is.
When I have the children.
When the children were born, yeah, I know that feeling. And then they grow up to be like, to be what they are. Anyhow, you have an opportunity to say something to your genetic future generation. Look at the camera. Do you have a message for the children unborn yet in our family?
Be smart. Listen to parents, but don't be.
I'll help you.
Don't be.
Schmate?
Not only schmate. Talk against them.
Right.
Let your parents talk what they want. You listen. If you don't want to listen, don't listen.
No.
But don't fight with them.
Don't forget to tell them about standing up for themselves. Because
Don't fight with them.
Right.
Be friend with them till the end.
No, don't forget to tell them about.
That's what I want with my children, but God don't let me.
Well, look at Adam and Eve. Look what happened to their kids. It was Cain and Abel, the club and cup. All right,
Yeah.
say goodbye to everybody.
Bye-bye. I am very happy to talk to all of you. You will remember me as I talk. You listen to my voice.
תגידי שלום.
Shalom.
שלום עליכם.
Shalom Alechem.
מה שאמא רואה מהחדר, שהיא יושבת איתי, לחדר, סליחה, אני מזיז את זה, אוקיי. אמא, את אמרת לי שהפריסט, אוקיי? שזה בא לך, תגיד לי. הרבי לא יהודי. הגוי שרבי? Yes. מנסים למצוא את המילה בשביל פריסט בעברית. זה ישוע, מדברים לישוע. אנחנו עושים את זה אחר כך אם צריכים. עכשיו, את אמרת שהפריסט ראה את אבא, סבתא, רגינה ודוד יוסף. הוא היה באחד. היה עוד מישהו איתם? אוקיי, לא, זה היה ארבע. אבא, סבתא, כן, זה ארבע. בסדר. והפריסט ראה אותם, הם הסתכלו אחד בעיניים.
הם דיברו עם העיניים.
הם דיברו עם העיניים. והפריסט?
לא, הוא לא קרא שמע, הוא לא אמר להם שלום, הוא לא אמר שום מילה, הוא רק הסתכל עליהם וזה כאב לו, הם ראו ממש שהוא בוכה. והפריסט אומר לה בסטאפו, למה אתה שלוש?
ארבע.
לא, אבא כבר לא היה.
אבא לא היה איתם?
כן.
אז זה ארבע. אבא, סבתא, רגינה ודוד יוסף.
אז אתה רואה את ארבעה האנשים האלה עם הזקנה, תן להם לחיות.
הזקנה זה היה סבתא, פרידה. בסדר?
תן להם לחיות. שלח אותם ימינה.
עכשיו, ימינה זה לחיות.
שמאלה זה
מוות. מה קרה להם אחרי שהם הלכו לימינה? איפה הם הלכו? איפה שלחו אותם? גטו? את יודעת איזה גטו? הם היו בהונגרי או אוסטריה? ברומניה. אז זה היה בגטו ברומניה. זה היה קרוב לצ'רנוביץ'? אתה יודע איפה ברומניה הם גרו?
אני לא יודעת. אבל גרו מול הפריס.
אני שואל למה אני רוצה להסתכל על מפה שהיה גטוס ברומניה למצוא... כן.
זה גטו היה ברומניה, לא היה איפה אש.
כן, אני מבין. זה היה גטו, זה משהו אחר. זה...
שמו את היהודים שם.
בסדר, בסדר.
ולקחו אותנו שם לעבודה.
שאלה, שבמלחמת 2, שהיה את ההולוקאסט והרגו את היהודים, ידעו את זה בפלסטין, היהודים בפלסטין, ידעו, אף אחד ידע מה קורה?
לא ידעו באופן מיוחד, אבל ידעו שיש חורבן גדול.
שיהיה מה?
שיש חורבן.
חורבן גדול. אבל הם לא האמינו, או לא חשבו שזה היה כל כך גדול? האמינו. באו אנשים שאמרו, בהתחלה, אני מבין שאף אחד לא האמין אותם, למה מי יכול לעשות דבר כזה? וואו.
אנחנו הכרנו בגינה.
במה?
בגינה.
בגינה, זה פארק.
כן.
בסדר, גינה.
זוג שבאו מהגטו בפולניה.
וורסו גטו? גטו, בסדר, בסדר. גטו בפולניה.
אז הוא סיפר לנו, הוא אומר, אני דתי, הבית דתי, אני לא מאמין יותר בדברים. הוא אומר, מה שאנחנו ראינו במו העיניים שלנו, ומה ששמענו, ומה שהרחנו את הריחות.
כן, הגופות שרפות.
ששרפו בשר.
כן.
אני לא מתפלל אותו.
זה קשה.
הרבה אנשים.
כן, כן, אני מבין, זה קשה להאמין באלוהים. אם אלוהים נותן משהו, כן.
נתן לעשות את זה.
כן, כן. זה... אולי את זוכרת משהו אחר שאבא אמר לך במלחמה או במשפחה? אין עוד משהו שאת זוכרת או לא? בסדר.
לאבא היה טוב במלחמה. ברוסיה, ברומניה.
למה הוא היה... העבודה שלו.
והראש שלו.
כן. אז עבודה בשבילו היה לחיות. כן.
לא הוא, המשפחה.
לא, אני מבין. הוא עבד והמשפחה חיה. זה למה העבודה היה כל כך, איך אומרים important בעברית?
הוא אהב את העבודה.
הוא אהב את העבודה, אבל זה נהיה, איך אומרים important בעברית?
חשוב.
חשוב, היה לו חשוב. בסדר, אם את זוכרת עוד משהו, נעשה את זה עוד הפעם, ותגיד שלום לישוע, למה הוא רואה את זה, הוא רצה את זה, אז תגיד לי שלום לישוע. מה?
אני אחשוב קצת.
או בסדר.
אני סתנו בתחתות אביך.
איפה?
ברומניה.
ברומניה.
הוא היה מוכרח לצאת. הוא פגש עם האורות. רומניות. העיקר, לקחו אותו. לקחו אותו לבית שימוש. לקחו לו מברשת שיניים.
ומה?
מברשת שיניים.
הוא מנקה את השיניים?
לא, נתנו לו. ואמרו לו, את הבית שימוש הזה, אתה רואה, אתה צריך לנקות את זה במברשת.
עם מברשת. מי אמר לו את זה?
הגסטאפו.
הגסטאפו? הם תפסו אותו? ואמרו, נתנו לו, איך קוראים לזה? מברשת שיניים לנקות את הבית שימוש.
את הקירות.
או, וואו.
הוא אומר, מה השתגעתי? איך שהוא הוא הרים את הרגליים וברח.
ברח?
זה משהו.
היה לו מזל. היה לו מזל. בסדר. אוקיי, נגיד שלום עכשיו, ומשהו בא לראש, נעשה. שלום.
שלום.